All right, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Bahamut, your caster. On the left-hand side, we're going to be having Macro Trash, and on the right, it's going to be Team Name Change. This is a Nexus Gaming Series Heroic Division matchup. Let's get right into this, as we do have the ban phase, I guess, coin flip. There we go. The coin flip from Macro Trash and Team Name Change here. Macro Trash actually won the coin flip. They banned out Towers of Doom, a little irregular from what they typically do, which is Volskaya. Team Name Change was actually quite upset about that because I do believe this is a favored that is a favored map of theirs. So Tomb of the Spider Queen was chosen by them as the ban. First map will be the choice of Macro Trash, giving first pick, first ban over to Team Name Change, and this will be Brax's Holdout. Game number 2 is going to be Sky Temple. This is going to be interesting. Really, really excited about this. This is the map choice for Macro Trash. We'll see what they're going to be pulling out here. This has been, I was actually looking through my notebook, this has been pretty much their standard, or I wouldn't say, maybe their comfort pick. This is definitely a map that they always seem to take us to every time we get to cast them. So this first ban, I wouldn't be too surprised to see out of the standard 4. I mean, you have Malfurion, Medivh, Garrosh. Ooh, support choke. Okay. Stukov going to be taken out by the members of Macro Trash, and I like that. Now, here's the thing. And I said this to people earlier. Blizzard, why? Why did you make all the portraits 2D? I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm going to complain about it until you fix it. Much like how I complain about getting caster tools on my channel that I don't think any of you watch. Anyways, let's get into this first pick here. Stukov being taken out is interesting. I wonder if they go ahead and focus on that Medivh, Maiev, Garrosh. Those are typically what we see in this first slot. I said core 4, but I should really make it 5 because Stukov is heavily prioritized, as well as the Malfurion. Decker Kane also, just really quickly. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's just there. All right, so Maiev is going to be picked up first on the side of Team Name Change. Gonna be getting that. It's a strong assassin for these fights, especially over these control points. I think Maiev really gets a ton of value in those situations. Now, if I'm looking on the side of Macro Trash, the 1-2 pickup here, I personally say you play it safe and you maybe grab your main tank and healer. That is typically a good start. I would maybe even go as far to say grab an Alexstrasza here. Good point control in that dragon form. Strong overall, and then you can grab an ETC or even a Diablo. I think either of those can be interchanged out. The ETC could be really powerful for them. I do think he has really good point control, but the other factor too is there is a lot for Diablo to go ahead and get. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and actually get Gul'dan. That'll be strong for their wave clear on the side of Macro Trash, as well as ETC for strong point control. And Gul'dan offers quite a lot of poke into that as well. I like to see the little portraits moving. Like, it was just one of those things that I enjoyed so much. It's like little, like, I don't know, it's just like, it's 2018, I'm talking about just like video game portraits. But that's the thing, is like, video games have gotten so far. Like, give it back. Let me have it. Or this just means that they're working on the UI. This 2-3 pickup from the members of Team Name Change. Before we go into this ban phase. They've got the Maiev. They could look for some setup with that. The Diablo would be really powerful as well, I do think. Apocalypse, Warden's Cage is a pretty strong combination. I still think the Alexstrasza is great here for either team. But it's going to be that Hanzo. Going to offer quite a bit of vision into these beacon phases, as well as you have Garrosh for the repositioning with the toss, as well as the group stun. We're going to be going to the second ban phase here, and on the side of Macro Trash, I would think that you want to just continue the support choke. I really feel like at this point that's going to be the priority. They can take out some wave clear that maybe they think is strong or they know is going to be strong, but at this point, if I'm looking at the draft of Team Name Change, I'm like, you're going to pick up a solo laner. You're going to be picking up a healer as well. Those are the two things that your team definitely needs. So I would think you just choke out the support that you don't want them to get, and then you prioritize whatever you can get. But at the same time, you are hindering yourself because the next pick phase is going to be in favor for Macro Trash after this. You could look at the solo laners, but that's, I think, a little hard to do. So we'll see here in just a second. They're actually... Okay, so they're going to go ahead and take out the Dahaka, get rid of the global aspect from the members of Team Name Change, as well as just the flank that he offers into the team, and the tongue drag is extremely powerful. So that's definitely something I would not want to deal with in this situation. Let me go ahead and just check one thing really quickly. Okay, I think that's working fine. So I need to pull everything back now. All right. Next pick, though. Or excuse me, this next ban. I like the idea of just getting rid of support still. They took out the solo laner on the side of Macro Trash, which I'm not too opposed to. But there's so many options. There's so many different directions they can go into on the side of Macro Trash. I don't know what team name change really bans out. If they just go for more of a choke, yeah, they're going to choke out the support some more. And that makes sense. In this situation, it makes complete sense to me that you'd want to go ahead and take out as many supports as possible when the other team, you know, that's what they're going to be looking for next. And maybe they have a pocket healer on the side of team name change that they feel comfortable won't get taken away from them. One thing to consider here. Next few picks, though. So they've got Great Wave Clear. They've got the ETC for point control. They've got Poke into the beacons. They'll need a little bit more damage. They'll need a healer and a solo laner. I would think that maybe you pick up your damage and your... Like, you can pick up a Thrall here. I think that'd be great in the 4-man. And then you pick up an Alexstrasza for more point control. You flex on your solo laner. Even then... You could still pick it up now. It's just you're not. I guess you're not. You can't pick up something in response. I do like a Malthael here, though. Okay, so Zarya going to be picked up for that 4-man. I'm assuming Lily going to be in there as well, healing. Ooh, is this going to be? Do they do like a 2-3? I wonder if they go along that route on the side of Macro Trash. And then on the side of name change, what are you guys going to be grabbing? Okay, so actually Lily going to be picked up. Blind's going to be going out from them. The Zarya as well. Are they going to grab like a Phoenix? No, they're going to need a solo laner. But then again, you can just 2-3 at that point. And shields on Phoenix, and that could be pretty powerful. Either way, let's talk about the draft of team name changes. They do need to kind of figure out these last 2 slots. They're going to need to decide the solo laner because I don't think they've chosen a specific one on the side of Macro Trash. Interesting. Okay. They're going to be picking up the Phoenix. The Alexstrasza will be grabbed as well. If you yell about a single support enough, it'll pop up. Mostly because a lot of the other supports fall kind of the wayside in this situation. Last pick, though, we're going to get a support out of Macro Trash. Or not support, excuse me. They're going to need some other sort of damage, unless they decide to hypercarry on the Gul'dan and then they take some sort of off support. No, they're not going to do that. They go into Azmodan and they take Taste for Blood and stack off the waves. Totally it. No, because I don't think Braxis is a slow enough map to honestly do that. But I had to throw it out at least. What are you grabbing this last slot to round out your team? Maybe some extra finishing damage to the Gul'dan? I still like the Thrall, yeah. I think that's still a phenomenal choice. We did mention it earlier, so I was off on, you know, I was suggesting the Thrall and Alexstrasza in the 3-4 slot, but they went ahead and grabbed the Zarya Lily. They're going to grab the Thrall as well. Based on who I'm just seeing name-wise on some of these characters, I do think it's going to be a Thrall into a Phoenix. And I think that they feel a little bit more comfortable taking that Thrall into that solo lane because it is a Phoenix and it's not something you typically see like a Sonya or a Blaze, or as we saw Sunday, we actually, wrong one, sorry. We actually had on Sunday, there was the Rexar game, if I'm not mistaken, from Macro Trash versus Taco Team. Yeah, I do remember that one specifically, but we're going to go ahead and get into this. And honestly, I don't know who to kind of give the power over to. There's so much damage that's going to come out from the members of Team Name Change with the late game. There's a lot of questing talents from the members of Macro Trash, and I feel like that might be the advantage that really gets them a little bit further in this game. But it's getting there's the big thing. Brax's holdout can be, as many say, and I agree with, a very snowbally map. You can get some momentum in your favor, and it is very hard to, I wouldn't say to lose it because you can decide to do that yourself as a team, but it's as long as you're actually, you know, attempting and pushing and controlling, it's really hard to kind of lose it on a map like this that's so small you can make rotations, get picks. We'll see though who kind of comes out with the early advantage and really holds it over into the later half of the game. As we get into game number 1, gonna be Macro Trash versus Team Name Change. On the left, we're gonna have Macro Trash with Stormtroopy on the Gul'dan, Hedgie gonna be playing the Zarya, Frank Jukes on that ATC, Shade gonna be playing that Thrall, and rounding it out with Spurbeck on the Lily. On the right-hand side, we are going to have Team Name Change with BD Buttkiss on the Phoenix. Hawaii Sashi is going to be on the Maiev. Smitty Werbin going to be on the Alexstrasza. Metball going to be on that Hanzo. And Garrosh going to be on that Divine Fate. Divine Fate going to be on that Garrosh. I probably said all those backwards. But anyway, let's get into this as we do have the 4-man in bottom. As expected, top lane will be that Phoenix versus Thrall. We'll go ahead and peek into there as much as we can. Curious to see how that matchup will kind of shake out. BD Buck is just staying in the fog at this time. There you go. That's a good word for it. Staying in the shadows, the fog, just not really showing out just yet. And we actually have, excuse me, Hawaii going in a little bit here. Power slide from the ETC. Going to get a knockback onto a couple of members. There's a lot of corruption coming up from that Gul'dan. Just to note really quickly is that Gul'dan did go into the Fell Flames, or the Pursuit of Flame. We also have Echo of the Elements from that Thrall in that solo lane. A little bit different. And then I think it's not Feel the Heat. It's Demolitions Expert? Boom. Going to be grabbed from Hedgie there. As Redemption going to be grabbed from that Hanzo, we have the Groundbreaker stacking talent at level 1 from Garrosh, the Bonds of Justice from that Maiev. So a couple stacking talents as we start out this game here, and we'll kind of keep an eye on those as we get further and further into this. Stormtroopy just working on those stacks as much as possible, and this is definitely one of those maps that you will see quite a lot of value come out into the later half here. Little bit of a different build than we saw last time. I do believe it was the Echo Corruption, and they got a ton of value with that, pushing up quite a bit. As it looks like the Beacon phase will be starting out. Shade versus BD Buckus in top lane. Looks like BD Buckus is holding this out quite a bit. As they do go ahead and stack those Echo Lightning stacks. Why going in here? Power slide from the ETC. There will be the healing circle right underneath them as they go ahead and continue to poke into this, and they start to push them back a little bit. That poison damage the damage over time is really starting to become a little worrisome, I do think, as Alexstrasza does put down that point every single time, and we just see Stormtroopy drop as much poison damage there as possible. Maiev going to be going in, getting the Umbral Bind onto a couple people. The Dragon will be coming up from Smitty Werbin. Healing Circle going to be down. A couple of the members of Macro Trash a little bit low. Going to actually, the majority of the team have health. Stormtroopy going to be falling here. First kill of the game going over to the members of Team Name Change, and they want to make it too, as Frank Jukes is going to be falling as well. They're going to get the stun onto Hedgie there, and looks like they will be holding over bottom lane. Meanwhile, though, in top, Phoenix will be holding this over. BD Buckus into Shade. Looks like BD Buckus is kind of winning this over a little bit as Thrall continues to poke out, trying to stack that level 1, and this looks like it's going to be given over for now, as we have ETC rotating back in from Death, and Stormtroopy just getting back in at this time. Pull in from the Maiev. Will not be connecting onto Hedgie here. Looks like their ETC is back at this time. Look to see them maybe jump onto this point. It won't be enough as they actually get the toss and stun onto Hedgie. It won't be enough as they do have the Maiev going in. Umbral Bind going to connect onto 2. Going to get some pull here. Hawaii taking so much damage. Do have a little bit of poke here coming out from a couple of the members of Macro Trash. Gul'dan just trying to get that clear as quickly as possible. And this is one thing that I did kind of mention as we started getting into this game a little bit, is that the Zerg Wave can be really powerful. As the power slide comes out from Frank Jukes, they're stopping the Maiev from getting that pull, but there will be a toss out. There will be the knockback from Frank Jukes as well. Divine Fate taking quite a bit of damage at this time. A little bit low from that poke damage from Stormtroopy. A couple members going to back off. Going to go ahead and grab the Regen Globe as they go ahead and continue to push in here. Divine Fate not going to be grabbing that, and actually that might be the death of them. There will be the toss actually pushing ETC closer. That is the Indomitable being used, and they respond with a kill themselves as they do lose their front gate. Meanwhile, though, in top lane, looks like Shade going to be having to go back as Beady Buckus did lose the shields, but still continuing to push up and doing quite well with that, as we do have about a level deficit, or about half a level deficit between these teams. Camps, though, look like they're going to be the priority between the two as we do get into this this kind of in-between phase of the Zerg Wave here, and it looks like this is just going to be the two siege camps grabbed at almost the exact same time, I would say. Meanwhile, though, a little bit of a fall between Shade and Beady Buckus, as it looks like they continue to poke out on them. We do have a rotation out from Frank Jukes. There will be the Wolf, but the power slide does not connect. They go ahead and get the initial interrupt, but the warp will go through, getting Beady Buckus right out of there. Camp going to be grabbed on the left, the Bruiser camp for the members of Macro Trash, but Team Name Change is going to be doing the exact same thing, rotating into that bottom. Ooh, actually, they're going to maybe take a fight. Will they see the Maiev? They're going to go ahead, and there will be 3 members pulled in. That will be the toss onto Hedgie, and that will be Gul'dan falling at this time. Hedgie not going to be in the best spot, and that will be Zarya falling as well. And that looks like it will be another kill for the members of Team Name Change as they begin to push down bottom lane with the camp that they grabbed. Might be able to get this fort. And the next Zerg Wave is going to be top lane. So at this point, they're just opening this up and creating a little bit more experience for themselves. The other factor, too, is definitely the retreat path for Macro Trash is going to be a little bit further, as Frank Jukes going to get that knockback onto a couple of these members. Power slide through Divine Fate. They continue to work on this fort and push in. Spell armor from the Raven will be beneficial for them, as it looks like they're going to be able to confirm this fort, get themselves a little... Oh, actually, no, never mind. They're not going to. Frank Jukes continually just pushing back. Gul'dan also, the other thing too, Stormtroopy finishing that level 1 questing talent. Really quickly though, Demolition's expert on Hedgie is going to be 34 out of the 40. Shade on that Thrall is going to be 17 out of the 20 necessary. Metball on the Hanzo is actually finished with the redemption stacks, but Maiev going to be going in this backline. The other thing, too, is Bonds of Justice, not too far off from finishing on the Maiev, so that's something we have to watch for. And then the Groundbreaker talent on Divine Fate, 6 out of the 20, if I'm not mistaken? 15. How did I think it was 20? I literally just played the hero. Working their way through those, as we do have Frank Jukes on the point at this time. Going to be just stalling this out. There will be the toss out. They go ahead and get the cleanse there right as they get the power slide. Healing Circle going to be out. That will be the pull in from Maiev. Knockback from the ETC. It looks like they're going to be holding this over for now, or at least gaining control over it for now on the side of Team Name Change. That will be charge going over in their favor, as it looks like they continue to hold this lane and get some decent healing out from the Alex Strauss. The one thing I want to check really quickly, Dragon Form is available. They do have that extra, aggression and healing for the next fight, as it looks like they just go ahead and stack up this mini wave a little bit, and they'll continue to poke in, get themselves 10 here, and you can see the members of Macro Trash are going to be backing off. They actually rotate Zarya up into the top lane, as Thrall does finish that level 1 questing talent. This is another interesting thing. I didn't point this out at all, or even talk about it, as we do have the Zerg Wave starting out here, but a little bit of a bush party from a couple of these members. Frank Jukes not in the best spot, as these 10s are going to be achieved. They actually get a nice power slide through a couple of them. They continue to pull on. That will be the cleanse used. A lot of assets went out to try and get that kill into Frank Jukes, but it won't be happening. So we currently have just Shade in this top lane working on this Zerg Wave. Demolition's expert, 38 out of the 40 needed on Hedgie. Actually going to be finishing that just now. There's the warp in. We are going to be having a little bit of a fight break out. We do have the... Oh my god. Beady Buckus with the Arsenal. No, oh my god, I can't think of the name. And of course... Oh, by the way, just going to point this out really quickly. Timers are back. Hooray! Purification Salvo. I didn't have to look it up. There we go. It came back. But That's awesome. So maybe the static draft icons fix the death timers or the heroic counters. Who knows? But those are back. I'm excited about it. We can finally see what's on cooldown, what's off cooldown as they continue to push into this top lane. Maiev going to be diving in a little bit here. Going to go ahead and get the pull onto Frank Jukes, but actually the Umbral Bind won't be finished right away. They do get the toss, and they are trying to battle this without 10s, and that will be ETC falling here over into the backline as well. Alexstrasza coming down. Divine Fate a little bit low. Going to get some healing, but they are able to poke this Zerg wave down. Doesn't look like they'll be giving over more than just the front gate and a little bit of damage onto that keep, as it looks like BD Bucket's going to get that warp out. There will be some poke out from Shade. They actually use the Wind Fury to continue out further. Poke going to continue here. There will be the stun from Divine Fate, but I don't think it connected onto anyone, as it looks like they get all their members out. Oof. Real close. Really quickly, let's just talk about heroics. We do have Sundering from the Thrall, the Horrify from the Gul'dan, Jug of 1,000 Cups from the Lili. We do actually have Expulsion Zone from the Zarya. There's so many useful assets with that. ETC holding. I don't think it will be a mosh pit, but you never know. That last second, just control 1. That's all you got to do. Control 1, and you got mosh pit. Control 1 R. Done. You've pop mosh on someone, or a control 2, and then you just click where you need to go and dive across the map. But on the same hand, members of Team Name Change, they're going to be having that Dragon Arrow. Alexstrasza did have that Cleansing Flame. We have the Warlord's Challenge from the Garrosh. We have the Warden's Cage from Maiev, and Purification Salvo from BD Buttkiss. As they do warp over the gate, they're not even going to try. Okay, yeah, I did have that. I was just like a little bit of a doubt, but we're good. This time they're going to go ahead and grab their own camp. They scout out boss. They know that they're not on it. Hedgie going to be doing the exact same, but are they able to scout out this camp? It doesn't look like it. They should be able to go ahead and grab it, but they just aren't sure. They also don't want to be fighting without 13s, as you can see them playing really, really close to the shadow here, also letting Frank Jukes, be on the point there, as we do have Shade in this bottom lane going ahead and just pushing down into bottom. And just opening this up as best as they can. Camp going to be grabbed? You think so? Will be the camp grabbed for the members of Team Name Changes. It looks like bottom lane will be cleared out by Macro Trash fairly easily, though they are posturing up. Divine Fate going to be scouted out by Hedgie with the grenade there. Bottom, though, going to be held over. We do have Phoenix in that top lane, so BD Buckus will have this grab. Going to be able to... Oh. All right, let's go ahead, and we are back into the game here. Let me make sure that all my stuff is set. BD Buckus has joined back in. Gonna get power slid on by ETC, but not going to be getting out, as the shields are depleted at this time. A little bit of fight breaking out. Hedgie going to be tossed around a little bit. Looks like the Expulsion Zone did come out. That will be the Purification Salvo, getting quite a bit of damage out, but the Jug of 1,000 Cups will be healing them right back up. Frank Jukes going to be getting a lot of that as they get the pull in on Shade. Horrify going to be going out, getting the Alexstrasza, and it looks like they actually don't get the Maiev just yet. Going to get that blink over the wall. They get the counter kill onto the Thrall. Power slide out from the ETC. That will be a 100% Zerg wave barreling down that bottom lane. They do have the 2 towers left, but this is getting stronger and stronger. At 12 minutes into the game, the Zerg wave is going to be doing some decent sieging down this bottom, as we do have everyone hearthing back at this time. While the Thrall should be up just about as this crashes into the bottom lane. The rest of the members, they're going to clear on their side. God, they're so close to getting that Maiev, but she was able to get that blink over the wall. That was a really good play. This point, though, it looks like they're going to try and burn this down as quickly as possible, trying to save their bottom lane without the added pressure that you would typically have from the members of Team Name Change. They definitely are able to do this quite quickly, especially with that Gul'dan clear, but they're trying to go ahead and get a keep for themselves. At this time, they don't really have a minion wave to push up with. BD Buck is going to be taking the shields out here. It looks like the minion wave will be arriving at this time, but they ditch the Zerg wave in bottom. Expulsion Zone not going to be happening as the Maiev gets right out of there. Healing Circle going to be going down, right back up, and they're going to go ahead and just get out of there. We do have Shade in the bush right here, as it looks like they start to just get right out of there. Double Root going to be going out. Why going in this back line? And we are going to be having the Jug of 1,000 Cups, the Mosh Pit, going to be coming out from the ETC and is going to be connecting onto 2 members. There's no interrupt at first there, and there's the Indomitable used as well. Looks like they're going to be trying to chase down Divine Fate as it looks like they split off from the team and say, yep, yeah, I think I'm going to have to die here so you guys can get away. That's going to be happening, but here's the thing. They move right onto boss, and the other thing to consider is that Horrify is not available, but Expulsion Zone is. They could technically invade this on the side of Team Name Change. It'd be extremely risky. Actually, it'd be horribly risky. I would not suggest it, but they have the Expulsion Zone on from the Zarya to go ahead and just hold over that point if they did need it. Top lane, though, going to be having this small siege camp pushing up. It'd be cleared out by the throw fairly easily by the time it arrives, and it looks like the rest of the members on the side of Macro Trash want to push this up a little bit further, especially utilize that advantage they have with the boss. So no, Zerg Wave would be top lane for Macro Trash next because it's bottom. No, it's next Zerg Wave is bottom lane for Macro Trash. They want to try and push this out as much as possible because the last Zerg Wave was red and bottom. There we go. All right. Figured it out. Boss going to be pushing up at this time, but the Dragon Arrow going to be coming out as well. Cleanse will be there. Purification Salvo will be connecting under a couple of the members here. There is the Alexstrasza going into the Cleansing Flame. Knockback for the Expulsion Zone used by Hedgie there, and it looks like they're able to get out just fine. As Schmitty Werbin going to be trying to dive out with that Cleansing Flame to maybe just get some follow-up kills. Won't be happening, as it looks like this camp is going to be prioritized. They do have a full 5-stack at this time. Majority of the heroics are off cooldown. They see them come in here. They get the toss onto one of the members, as it looks like the Alexstrasza Dragon Form does come out. They are currently on the point. We actually are going to have the Warden's Cage coming down at this time. The Fear comes out as well. So many of the members are so low. Shade going to be just getting that lightning out onto a couple members, but at the same time, as Thrall going down, they will be losing their Phoenix, and that will be Divine Fate falling as well. That is the Beacon phase just starting out. Met Ball going to be chased by this. There is Maiev diving in. Power Slide going to be out. Knockback will be there. Met Ball, does he have the lead? No. And they lose one member, but they go ahead and get a 4-man wipe, and that's a strong play by Macro Trash here in this later half of the game. Definitely changing the tone, the pacing, whatever you want to call it, but really just showing up in this later half and taking some advantageous fights and really paying out for them, as it looks like they continue to push up bottom. They want to get this charge to just barrel down and push into a keep front gate and maybe a little bit further, as I had to apologize for that little bit of a hang. I was having the same thing happen earlier. Patch days. What can you do about them? So that will be, though, the Beacon phase going over. They do get the pushback onto BD Buckus, as there was the Purification Salvo used as well. They get the toss onto Frank Jukes. They stall this for now. The majority of the members are back and in place. Hanzo going to be getting the arrow out, going to be connecting onto one, as there will be the Umbra Bind not pulling anyone at this time. Hanzo going to be trying to poke out. That will be the charge going back over in favor for the members of Macro Trash, but they stall it at 84%. Hanzo going to have that arrow out. Going to poke out with the grenades from Hedgie. There will be Unstoppable used, and they get right out of there. That self-shielding Unstoppable, always really good to have. I do believe that the 16 talent? Nope. Unstoppable. 13. There we go. I was like, that talent icon doesn't look right. Okay, there we go. They will be holding this top point over as 16 to 16 at this time. They have Phoenix on bottom, so they're going to get a little bit of percentage for themselves, but they stop it at 8%. Divine Fate going to be scouting this out. Just getting poked out by Hedgie a little bit here and there. Hanzo going to get that arrow out. Bottom lane being held over. BD Buckus in position here. They looks like they're going to be trying to go in for a fight soon. Alexstrasza popped in that dragon form. Maiev going to be jumping in at this time. The self-cleanse is there. They go ahead and they just completely disengage from the point, but there will be the toss and stun onto Frank Jukes. The taunt will be there as well. Horrify will be pushing so many of the members out. Purification Salvo will be there and dealing quite a bit of damage. Shade going to be trying to get into this fight. Doesn't look like they can find anyone, as it looks like they also stopped that charge. Didn't really get much, as it looks like they continue to just battle back and forth between these 2 points. We do have the dive in from Maiev. There is the Hanzo arrow to go back out. We do have Shade falling so low, but the healing will be out. There is going to be the Mosh Pit, but actually the Sundering is going to be saving BD Buckus, and that will be just the Garrosh falling in this situation, as it looks like Maiev is going to be able to get the blink over the wall. and they hold this over, but that sundering knocking one of the members out. They actually get the chase onto Maiev. The Umbral Bind will pull them in. No power slide to stall them out. Another blink will be over the wall just fine. Gul'dan has rotated down. Stormtroopy going to go ahead and get the cap onto this point, but at the same time, BD Buckus is stalling out top. Going to need to split their assets a little bit here, as they do probably know that there is no Gul'dan at this time, but Shade going to be doing quite a bit of damage onto this Thrall, as we do have the Maiev getting right back in here, taking some poke damage from a couple of these members. Another poke grenade will be the thing that kills them. That will be a 100% Zerg wave in favor for the members of Macro Trash. A little bit that they need to deal with in that top lane really quickly, though, themselves. Oh, and even then, 8% is still just Lings, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and try and get this clear as quickly as possible. BD Buckus just going to Hearth right out of lane, going to get that, Blink out of lane into Hearthing. They want to go ahead and just try to get a little bit of that clear right away, as we do have these Banelings coming in, and the Banelings are really the annoying thing in my opinion, because they do a lot of siege damage, but those will be cleared out fairly quickly. Poke going to be coming out from Stormtroopy at this time. Metball going to be just getting some poke behind this wall, starting to siege up. These are 19-minute Zerg waves, so they are scaling up quite a bit and getting pretty powerful, as it looks like this keep could potentially be falling in the situations. They go ahead and leave the Guardians. They're going to play behind that line of fire, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to confirm the keep just yet. But they're going to dive in at this time. They get the pull in on one member. It looks like the ETC will be put in here. Knockback will be there. Go ahead and get the Sunder on a couple of the members here. Power slide from the ETC. There will be a mosh pit, but I think it was interrupted right away there. And it looks like that will be one member falling, and they aren't able to get more purification. Salvo will be connecting onto a couple members here. Not going to be finishing up the damage they need. And maybe the ETC didn't get the mosh pit. Maybe it was just the power slide. But either way, that is going to be a free keep in favor for the members of Team Name Changes. This top lane did push up quite a bit. I think that they want to take advantage of not having this Maiev here. So they get the toss onto Frank Jukes here. Going to get that knockback. Divine Fate going to be going ahead and using that Warlord's Challenge. They pick up the ETC. And the might have been a little bit too much for them on the side of Macro Trash, as it looks like we do have BD Buckus blinking in on Stormtroopy. There will be the shield going out. Expulsion Zone will be keeping them from chasing too much. The toss going to be out onto Hedgie. Self Cleanse will be there. That will be Phoenix falling, or excuse me, not Phoenix falling at this time. Phoenix actually dealing quite a bit of damage there. Hanzo getting that kill onto the Zarya. We do have 19s to 18s. We are getting quite close to a real late game 20. The big thing on Brax's Holdout is a lot of the games that I find casting is you get to a certain point on a map like this, especially where the death timers are the thing that you worry about so much, because if you lose one member, you really don't want to risk going in a 4v5, and it just becomes more and more terrifying. So in this situation, gonna go ahead, they back out, they let them have the boss. They're just going to go ahead and just wait for their ETC as well as Zarya to be back, pushing in the lanes as best they can. They don't want to go too far out, just letting the experience come to them. They do not really have vision of the enemy team, so they're just going to go ahead and just continue to stay behind the gate, let the experience come to them. They can poke out for 20. They don't really need to rush this too much, as they do need to still wait for their Zarya player. But at this time with boss, the members of Team Name Change want to push into bottom lane and open this up a little bit more for themselves, as they do believe that will be the next lane for them. Yes, bottom lane is going to be the next lane for Team Name Change's Zerg wave. So if they can get this, and you know they don't end here, they can definitely try for that Zerg wave. But this boss will be sieging quite well. Purification Salvo coming out. The Warden's Cage is going to be there as well, making sure that they go ahead and get that keep. So that will be pressure in both top and bottom with catapults the entire time. They do have great wave clear with Stormtroopy, but that means that they're going to have to dedicate a member for that clear, and you know they won't always have someone in place for that. Meanwhile, though, the beacon's going to be grabbed. Top lane by Metball. Bottom lane is going to be by... I'm going to keep trying it. It's such a hard name. Hawaii Sashi. There we go. I don't know why that's so difficult, but it's just my brain just pauses on it every single time. But it looks like this is just going to be the... they're not going to be going for this camp, though. Don't want to take that without 20s themselves. And the members of Macro Trash are going to be looking for a fight, especially looking to stall out this Zerg wave as best they can. Edgy going to be the only one on the point. Top lane stacking up quite a bit. This is something that they're going to need to worry about.
Blue team's core is under attack.
Huh. That has to be a UI bug. I'm just noticing. There's no shielding on that core right there. That's really weird, actually. Is there no shielding, period? Or did I miss the shields falling on their core? Sorry, I'm a little distracted right now, but I'm just like, wait a minute. This is a little important. All right, we do have a little bit of a brawl backing happening here. In these two lanes, we are going to be having a huge taunt going to be going out. There will be the Jug of 1,000 Cubs, but it won't be enough. The Death Mosh will be there, but it won't be connecting on any members. They do get a ton of damage out onto 3 of these members with Maiev. There will be the Horrify coming out. Metball going to be trying to get out of here as it looks like they get the Gul'dan as well. Sunder going to be coming out. Phoenix going to be falling in this situation. They do have Hedgie in this Warden's Cage, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to live, and that is going to be GG's already called out as the core begins to fall. Just really quick, I want to check something. Okay, so it does have the shielding, it just doesn't show right here. Okay, all right, that will be game number 1 going over in favor for the members of Team Name Change. GG, well played. Alrighty, let's go ahead, get this started here. And we are going to be going into game number 2 here on... Nailed it. We're going to be going into Sky Temple here, as on the left-hand side, we are going to be having Macro Trash, and on the right, we're going to have up 1 game, Team Name Change. As map 1, I do want to note, was the choice of Macro Trash. So Braxis Holdout being won by the first pick, first ban, OP, apparently? No. But just to catch you guys up really quickly on the coin toss results, so you do kind of know where you are. If you joined a little bit late into this series, we do have Macro Trash, who won the coin flip. They banned out Towers of Doom. Tomb of Spider Queen was banned out by Team Name Change, and Braxis Holdout was first game, won by Team Name Change. Game number 2 was Sky Temple, picked by Team Name Change. First pick, first ban, going to be going over to Macro Trash. Let's get into this, as we do have the Maiev being banned out first here, deciding they do not want to deal with it after seeing Kawaii Sashi on that. That was some strong play, too. That was not something that I'd want to deal with anytime. But ban-wise on the side of Team Name Change, what are you guys going to be taking off here? Sky Temple being point control. Okay, yeah, it's point control heavy. It is going to be that Stukov. I'm not too surprised about that. I also need to make a note to... Sorry, just really quickly. Let's just send that out to Blizzard so they do know. Malfear going to be first picked on the side of Macro Trash. Going to put a heavy prioritization into those roots. Curious what they're going to be setting up for in their 2-3 slot, but find out what Team Name Change is going to be taking on the right-hand side here. 1-2 pick before the ban phase for them, at least. I personally like grabbing a tank. I talk about this a lot in most of my drafts, but it's one of those situations where I honestly think that picking up a tank here and your healer, I think, is a really strong start to your composition. I don't really hate the Alexstrasza, but it's definitely a healer that you can't pick up too early. So I wonder if maybe they go into... I like the Hanzo. Genji did get some changes. I don't think they're going to prioritize that. I like the Hanzo with some sort of just Beefaroni boy. They could also play into their they could play into like an early Dahaka as well. So there will be the Hanzo, and they go ahead and grab the Sonya. So they grab their kind of their poke damage, their vision, their just overall annoyance throughout this fight, with the Sonya as well for that solo lane. What do we get though from the members of Macro Trash? They've got the Medivh. They've got the Malfurion. They could be going into a Medivh. They also could be going into a Diablo at this time. I do like the Diablo with the Malfurion, and then you could pick Greymane on top of that too. It got some decent burst. Really good. Oh, you've got really good setup, and then you got some single target burst. I'm trying to think what else you could be just picking on top of that. The ETC wouldn't be bad at all either. I like the idea of an early Dahaka for either team, but I'm not sure if it's going to be happening. Okay. They grab the Diablo. Do like that. Falstead with it as well. So you guys know it's not Murden. Ban phase though. Alright. If I'm on the side of team name change, I'd be looking to maybe take out a solo laner to go into that Sonya. Something you don't really want to deal with there. A little hard at this point. They've got a strong composition, or at least they've got a strong core on the side of Macro Trash. I do think banning out at this point, you just look to see what you don't want to deal with in that solo lane with the Sonya, and then what other sort of damage you don't want to deal with on top of that Falstead as well. It's a little hard. I think maybe I like the idea of maybe banning out the Malthael. Because you have a Sonya, so that means you're going to be taking a main tank, so you're going to have two kind of beefier players. Boah, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Well, you're obviously very much enjoying the stream. You appreciate that quite a bit. Dang. I never know what to say when people sub to me. Just thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. We are going to be having the Jaina. Going to be picked up, or excuse me, banned out here on the side of team name change. And then Garrosh going to be the next from the members of Macro Trash. Dear God, I got to play Ishia soon. I got to play? Oh, Wish. Oh. Alright, Alright. Alright. Sorry, I'm reading broadcasts by people, but alright, let's go ahead and let's get back into this draft. We are gonna be having there's the correction. I was just like Alright, so we are gonna be having the Hanzo Sonya so far. They're gonna need a support main tank and some damage on top of that. A little bit of poke side from the mage, maybe. I personally like that Alexstrasza once again, and then I think maybe you just go into the ETC. I think it's a strong start combination. You can get a lot of value. Ooh. Just so you guys know, that's not Falstead. My hatred is unending. Interesting. Auto attack heavy composition, very, very... I wouldn't say early. I would maybe leave the Illidan for your last slot here. Maybe not, because then you could pick up something to just punish the Alexstrasza that they're probably going into. My whole thing is, like, they picked up the Illidan. I'm honestly expecting a Cassia out of Macro Trash. I like the idea of some blind into the Illidan. He dives in, you blind him, he's just spinning and cutting nothing. That, as well as for their solo lane into the Sonya. Asmodan. No, don't do that. It's not going to win. You get punished so hard. I like a Malthael here in the solo lane. It offers some more damage, a little bit more fight. I like the last rites on a couple of these squishier members. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and grab the Arthas for solo lane, and Li Ming is going to be poking in. Another thing I just noticed, taking out the portraits, I can't see... Thanks for casting TNC. No, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it, Ba. The other thing with portraits is, like, I can't see if there are banned skins about to be used until we literally get into the game, which then I'm not looking for them. Like, I'll look for banned skins in draft. For example, Li Ming has a few. Arthas has a few. So it's just one of those things. Like, Murden has a banned skin as well. We can't figure any of this stuff out until literally you get in game. So another complaint to you, Blizzard. You got the heroic timers to work. I thank you. Yo, Mega Man fan, thank you for the host. Hey Rag, how you doing? Thanks for coming by. One Mega Man fan, thank you for the host. I do appreciate it. Welcome everybody. Hope you're enjoying the stream. We are getting into game number 2 here, and it's going to be a Rhaegar here. This isn't a Bloodlust comp. No, I don't think so. The Ancestral, I think, is for the Illidan, who's going to be diving and trying to get into that backline. These 2D portraits. No, like I'm semi-raging about it because like there's other aspects that I like about it that I'm finding more and more. Like for example, the band skin thing, like I'm not looking for it anymore. Like, and I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm not going to look for it because Blizzard changed something. No, I'm just like, I'm not looking for it because like once we get into a game, I'm full caster mode. Like I'm not looking at skins. I'm not a fan of the static portraits. But hey, the heroic cooldown timers, those work. Your core health doesn't show shielding anymore. Or even if it's invulnerable, it just says 100%. So that's the thing. But either way, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to stop complaining about things that really only bother me, probably. This game, too, between these two teams, the global aspect that Falstad offers into this, I think, is a big thing to consider until 10, when Illidan potentially will have that hunt, which is like a semi-global. We'll see. We'll see. Let's get into this. Game number 2. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having, Macro Trash with Shade going to be on the Arthas, Frank Duke's going to be on that Diablo, Stormtroopy going to be on the Li Ming, Hedgie going to be on that Falstad, and Spurbeck going to be rounding it out on the Malfurion. On the right, we are going to have up one game, team name change with Beady Buttkiss going to be on the Sonya, Divine Fate going to be on the Muradin, Metball going to be on the Hanzo, Smitty Werbin going to be on the Rhaegar, and rounding it out with Kawaii Sashi on the Illidan. Let's get into this. Falstad flying to top, gonna get the Vision. This is how you win the video game. Vision wins the game every single time. Let's get some stats. Stats in here. Or stats? Talents. That's the better option. We are going to be having Falstad going to the auto attack Season Marksman at level 1. Hanzo going to be going for that redemption once again. Muradin going to be having that third wind. Not going to be going into any sort of extra stacking for the Stormbolt there, as it looks like bottom lane will be Illidan versus Arthas. Mid lane will be a nice 3-man, not rotation, but definitely a fight as Divine Fates gets thrown over the wall and just... Are you raging about it? I was raging about it. All right, on the right-hand side, the other thing, just to note really quickly, Sonya went into the block, level 1. And then Illidan also going to be going in for the, those sweeping strikes, if I'm not mistaken? Immolation, excuse me. We do have, once again, Frank Duke's going to be splitting Divine Fate away from the team. Going to have to go ahead and use that Dwarf Toss to get out once again. And it looks like we do have Illidan going to be jumping on this camp that will be... quite quickly into this game. Curious to see, do they do the same thing on the side of Macro Trash? Setting themselves up for it, but I don't think they're going to be doing it. Malfurion solos camps. I mean, can, but not very efficiently. Tank battle in mid. Metball actually going to be pushed back in bottom lane a little bit. Smitty Werbin going to be coming down here. Illidan just going to be doing camp rotations at this time. Going to be using this hero as a jungler, I think, on a map like this. I do not disagree with it. Might miss out on a little bit of some experience, or at least push-wise, but overall, Divine Fate going to have to use that Dwarf Toss once again. Stormtrooper trying to poke in. Minions getting in the way of that. Whose map pick was Sky Temple? It was the members of Team Name Change. We do have Illidan finishing out this camp on the right-hand side. Deacon Phase not going to be starting up for the next 45 seconds here, but they are making a rotation currently into top. Hedgie playing by that gate, doesn't really want to get caught out of position, letting the wave come to them. But as we see right here, they are setting themselves up. Hanzo going to be going in. They try to go ahead and get the dive, but it won't be happening. A little bit of poke damage coming out. Barrel roll right away as Frank Duke's going to be going in on Illidan. Rest of the team going to be rotating out. They get a little bit of slow onto them. But the thing with Illidan is that sustained damage that will be Frank Jukes falling here. First kill of the game going over to Team Name Change. Xanis, thank you for the... Yeah, it was TNC. Appreciate that. This time, though, we have them pushing real hard into top lane. Sorry, I looked over at chat and I'm just looked over at the minimap and I'm just like, whoa! TNC pushing in quite hard. Looks like they're going to go ahead and just kind of hold this over, as it looks like they put Smitty Werbin on that top. Illidan will be able to take this mid by themselves. Meanwhile, Sonya's still pushing into Shade down in bottom. BD Buttkiss going to be holding this over quite well, as it looks like they're going to rotate the majority of the team into this top lane. Diablo is not available just yet. They don't really have a main tank for this. Frank Juke's going to be rotating in from this kind of flank-ish position. Might have been scouted out in the lane, but overall, that will be top held over. 7's, though, going to be achieved in the meantime by the members of Team Name Change. They rotate a couple members down into this mid, get a little bit of healing maybe on nope, just skipping the friendly team. Nope, gonna get that healing, or at least helping out, as it looks like Illidan will rotate out. Meanwhile, though, in bottom lane, Shade getting pushed in quite a bit by BD Buttkiss. It looks like Sonya is just going to be holding this over quite well, able just to back right out without a problem. Meanwhile, though, on top, a little bit of a fight breaking out. 7's in favor for the members of Team Name Change. They're going to start chasing Frank Jukes here. Lee Min going to be poking out. Stormtrooper trying to get that poke damage out. Not going to be happening, as it looks like that will be held over by the members of, Team Name Change. And they're going to be pushing into top lane a little bit further. Illidan going to get chased off of this point, off this tower, with a couple hundred health left on it. It looks like Team Name Change want to take this fight. Frank Juke's going to get stunned out here. They're going to try and follow this up. Smitty Werbin not going to be diving in with the rest of the team. Hanzo going to be jumping over the wall just in time to miss the orb there from Stormtroopy. And that is definitely something you want to worry about as a Hanzo. Not a whole lot of health into the big combo that can come out from Li Ming. It looks like Divine Fate is blocking quite a bit of that damage. Smitty Werbin just staying in that backline in wolf form. Going to be just trying to keep as much mana as possible and also just dive in when needed. Another poke going to be coming out from Stormtroopy as bottom lane. A little bit of a push between these two. Hedgie going to be just clearing out this lane as Illidan once again rotating around the map. This is a huge asset for them as they utilized Kawai Sashi as a jungler, and you don't see it too often. Mostly because it's not really like a big role in Heroes of the Storm, I guess I could say. You don't typically draft one specific hero just to do jungling, as we do have a dive going in on Illidan, and that will be a kill going over for Macro Trash, evening these kills up. But the thing to consider here is that it's about a level and a quarter difference between these two teams. 10s are going to be achieved fairly quickly, as it looks like they just go ahead and hold over their lanes. I don't think they're going to be able to contest this too well. Hedgie going to be in that top lane, going to have that flight available if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Also able to fly in at any time. Sonya going to be diving in. There is the Wrath of Berserker used, as you did just hear there. That will also be Murden diving in, trying to get that extra damage, and that will be Hanzo confirming the kill. And really quickly, just to talk about 10 talents, we are going to be having the Dragon Arrow out from Hanzo and Sister Healing from the Rhaegar. Murden going to be having the Avatar form. BD Buttkiss going to be having the Wrath Berserker, as we already heard. And Kawai Sashi going to be grabbing that Hunt. So that's semi-global, as I kind of talked about, able to play this map a little bit, I don't know the right word. I wouldn't say aggressive, freely, because you can still rotate your 4-man around, and whenever you just need Illidan, just be like, hey, stop camping, come help us get this kill, and then you just hear, you're not prepared, you fly in, and then in quick match, you die instantaneously. In a team setting, you typically get a kill. But we'll see here, as this bottom is going to be given over. 10s were achieved on the side of Macro Trash. Arth is still holding. It actually is going to be Sendragosa with the Apocalypse from the Diablo. Li Ming going to be having the Wave of Force. Silence out from Spurbeck, and it's going to be Gus from Hedgie, as it looks like this fight in bottom. We are going to be having the Hunt coming in. Gus going to be going out, separating only one member there. Looks like that will be Illidan falling, but that will be the Malfurion as well. There will be the Sendragosa, and before that was the Apocalypse. Murden going to be falling at this time. Hanzo going to be finishing those redemption stacks, but I don't know if it's going to be enough if they do fall here, as BD Buttkiss is doing a phenomenal job of staying alive and also just peeling for the team, and Ancestral Healing will connect, and they continue to fight this, and this is actually, I'd say that it was a fair trade, but towards the end of that really went over in favor for the members of Team Name Changes. They had that Ancestral Healing connect on the BD Buttkiss at the right moment, and they just pushed in a little bit further. That timers are a little bit low at this time, this early into the game. We are going to be having the 3 members that were alive hearthing back to get full. Spurbeck and Stormtroopy already back at this time. Excuse me, Shade. Stormtroopy didn't die there. The Arthas fell there. Smitty Werbin going to be scouting out in this bush, seeing if they make the rotation, but they're going to go ahead and just go bottom. I think they're going to check boss, because I think the majority of the team is not showing on map. Nope. So I think they know they're not there. Hedgie barrel rolls over the wall. They poke on this camp, and I don't think they're going to be taking it. The one thing I also will note is that we're actually seeing, I'd say, like a more single target team fighty build out from Meppel. We're not going to be having that burn onto the camp with the simple geometry build as we typically see. But we have Illidan for that. They have Illidan for that, so it's no big deal, as it looks like that will be the camp picked up. 13 is also going to be achieved for the members of team name change. The double altar phase, or excuse me, the double temple phase will be starting out here in the next 23 seconds. Going to be having this pushing into top, as it looks like they want to continue to push in with it. Illidan going to be going into that bottom lane, potentially going to go on to the Falstead. Actually going to be working on that camp, just peeking at the mini map really quickly. Going to have a little brawl between these two. I don't think Hedgie will be able to take that fight. Kawaii Sashi going to be taking that camp over for free. BD Buck is going to be rotated up into this top lane. Meanwhile, bottom is open. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Illidan go ahead and grab that. Hedgie going to be trying to just poke out in mid and just stack up as much Season Marksman as possible, but it's just getting kind of pushed back. And the other factor, too, is as they open up this map, they have to wait for waves to come into them. As they go ahead, they dive onto one of the members. That will be Hanzo getting cleansed and getting that leap over the wall. Feeling going to be going out from Rhaegar. No pickup as they were expecting. Meanwhile, though, Sonya going to be holding over top just fine. Bottom lane going to be cleared out fairly quickly. I think they're going to rotate the Falstead in for that. Frank Duke's going to be jumping onto the point. Illidan with the rest of the crew going to be grabbing this siege camp. And do they give this over, or are they just taking a huge rotation? This is where I'm the positioning. They've got, it's 15 to 12. 13s will be achieved momentarily for the members of Macro Trash, as it looks like they give this over. Going to give them some much needed experience on the side of Macro Trash. Looks like they actually back off of this, losing the members, at least kind of not being able to see them on map. They get a Hearth from Shade. Going to be going back into that top lane, I do believe, as Divine Fate jumps onto this point. Smitty Werbin in that bush, and Metball going to be just kind of poking out into the lane. That's the team going to be rotating up. Not going to be able to grab that Illidan at this time. Diablo does have 100 stacks. I do want to note that, so if they do lose the Diablo in a fight, that is plausible to come back right away, as Metball going to be getting that Agile Dismount? No, I'm thinking of Hanzo. Oh. Leap over the wall. Either way, Divine Fate going to be jumping in here. Going to go ahead and actually we have a Hanzo arrow as well as, oh my god. Hanzo arrow going to be out, as well as the Hunt from the Illidan. Spurbeck taking so much damage, going to be the focus of this. The Apocalypse going to be coming out at this time. They do lose their Malfurion, as it looks like they are pushed back into their gate. Not going to be losing a third member in this fight. But at this time, that will be this bottom fort. They just needed one more second on that altar to get it. That will be boss picked up in favor for the members of Team Name Change. They start to burn this down, and it will be going down bottom lane. That does have a little bit of extra, you know, it has this one tower here, so there's some extra defense. But the thing is, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them maybe even jump in on it themselves, trying to push down this bottom lane. Now, there is this death bridge. You don't really want to deal with that, but you can rotate out from the other side of it, as it looks like they are going to be pushing down this lane, trying to open up another keep lane for themselves, get some more catapult pressure in their favor. The next altar phase is going to be top and mid. So this is in favor, I wouldn't say in favor, but it is a little bit more of a breath of relief from the members of Macro Trash, as they don't need to be pulled into bottom lane where it's a single altar and they have catapult pressure in top. This time, though, they could have catapult pressure in bottom, as it looks like this keep is going to be falling to the boss, and the 4-man, but it's actually a 5-man, as Gus comes out, going to be saving Shade there. BD Buck is going to be on Spurbeck at this time. Going to back off as they do get the keep. The Hanzo arrow will not be connecting. They get the dive onto Frank Jukes. Won't be enough, as it looks like that will be Sendragosa coming out at this time, slowing them down, but that will be Malfurion falling. Core going to be falling very, very quickly here. And it looks like that will be Sonya falling as well. It's going to be game number 2 going over to Team Name Change. GG, well played.